Memphis was buzzing. Not just with the usual sounds of blues and rock and roll, but with an extra layer of excitement. Tonight was the night of the big charity concert, a show to raise money for kids who needed help. Colorful posters plastered every lamppost, showing Elvis Presley, the king himself, ready to rock for a good cause. The Mid-South Coliseum was packed. People of all ages, dressed in their best clothes, filled the seats. The air crackled with anticipation. Everyone knew Elvis always put on a fantastic show, but tonight felt different, more special. This wasn't just about music, it was about making a difference. Backstage, there was a flurry of activity. Roadies checked instruments, stagehands adjusted lights, and Elvis's team made sure everything was perfect. Elvis, though, was calm. He knew why he was here. He believed in giving back, and seeing all those people gathered together, ready to help, filled him with a warmth that went beyond the stage lights. He knew his music could bring joy, and tonight, he hoped it could bring a little hope too. The concert was about to start, and Memphis was ready for a night they wouldn't forget. The energy was high, and the purpose was clear, to make a difference in the lives of children who needed it most. Amidst the crowd, near the front but not quite, stood a girl named Lily. She wasn't jumping and shouting like some of the other fans. Lily was small for her age, and her head was completely bald, a side effect of the medicine she took. But what she lacked in hair, she made up for in spirit. She wore a bright purple hoodie, the color a cheerful contrast to her pale skin. Lily clutched a piece of cardboard, carefully painted with the words, "Elvis Marry Me," in big, bold letters. Her hands trembled slightly, not from cold, but from a mixture of nerves and hope. She'd been working on the sign for days, wanting it to be perfect. Her voice was too weak to yell, but she hoped, more than anything, that Elvis would see her sign. Lily loved Elvis. His music made her feel happy, even when she didn't feel well. His voice was like a warm hug, and his movies always made her laugh. She knew it was a silly dream, wanting to marry Elvis, but in her heart, it felt real. Tonight she was determined to show him how much he meant to her. She held her sign high, her eyes fixed on the stage, waiting for the moment when maybe, just maybe, he would notice her. The music started, loud and exciting. The crowd roared as the lights dimmed and the band took their places. Then, there he was, Elvis. He stepped onto the stage, dazzling in a white jumpsuit sparkling with rhinestones. The crowd went wild. Lily held her sign even higher, her heart pounding in her chest. It felt like everyone was moving, jumping, and waving, making it even harder for Elvis to see her. Just when she started to feel a little discouraged, a bright spotlight suddenly shone on her. Not just on her sign, but on her face too. It was so bright she almost had to close her eyes. Elvis was singing a fast, upbeat song, but as the spotlight found Lily, he seemed to falter for just a moment. He squinted, trying to see through the light. He finished the verse, but then he walked to the edge of the stage, closer to where Lily was standing. He pointed towards her. "Hold on a minute," he said, his voice booming through the microphone. The music stopped. The crowd quieted down, wondering what was happening. "I see a very special sign down there," Elvis said, a smile spreading across his face. "The spotlight, can we get that on her again?" A hush fell over the crowd. Everyone was looking at Lily. A security guard came over to her. "The king wants to see you," he said gently, his voice surprisingly kind. Lily couldn't believe it. This was really happening. The security guard led her through the crowd, parting the sea of people like Moses. Lily felt like she was floating. All eyes were on her. Some people smiled, some whispered, but everyone was watching her. Her heart pounded so hard she thought it might burst. As she got closer to the stage, she could see Elvis more clearly. He was even more handsome up close. His eyes were kind, and his smile was warm. He held out his hand towards her, beckoning her closer. Tears welled up in Lily's eyes. Happy tears, excited tears, unbelievable tears. She reached for Elvis's hand, her own hand trembling. It was soft and warm, like she'd imagined. The security guard helped her up the short steps to the stage. This was a dream come true. A dream she never thought would actually happen. She was about to meet Elvis. As Lily stood on the stage, Elvis did something that surprised everyone, including Lily. He knelt down, bringing himself to her level. He gently took her small hand in his. Lily's eyes were wide with wonder. She couldn't speak, she was completely speechless. All she could do was look at Elvis, her idol, her hero, right there in front of her. Elvis looked at Lily with such kindness and compassion. He saw a brave young girl, facing challenges that most people couldn't imagine. He saw the hope in her eyes, the love in her heart. He knew this moment meant the world to her. He raised her hand to his lips and kissed it softly. It was a gesture of pure tenderness, a sign of respect and admiration. Lily felt a shiver run down her spine. It was like something out of a fairy tale. Then, he reached over to his microphone stand and carefully plucked a single flower, a bright red rose, from the vase. He placed it in Lily's hand, closing her fingers around the stem. The rose was soft and velvety, and its fragrance filled the air. This was a moment Lily would never forget. A moment that showed her that even in the midst of a large concert, she was seen, she was valued, and she was special. Elvis looked into Lily's eyes, his own filled with sincerity. He knew she probably didn't fully understand the meaning of her sign, but he understood the love and admiration behind it. He leaned in close, his voice soft and gentle so only she could hear. "This is a yes, honey," he whispered, a playful twinkle in his eye. Lily gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. He was saying yes. Of course, she knew he didn't mean a real marriage, but in that moment, it felt just as special. The words hung in the air, sweet and magical. It was a promise of friendship, a symbol of hope, and a testament to the power of kindness. Elvis wasn't just a singer, he was a genuinely good person, and Lily could feel it. He stood up, still holding her hand, and smiled at her. "Come on," he said. "Let's give these folks something to really remember." He gently led her further onto the stage, towards the center, where the band was waiting. The crowd erupted in applause, cheering for Lily and for Elvis's incredible gesture. The moment was perfect, a beautiful blend of dreams and reality, all wrapped up in a single, heartfelt yes. Standing next to Elvis on the stage felt surreal. Lily could see the entire crowd stretched out before her, a sea of faces all looking at her. She felt a little shy, but mostly, she felt incredibly happy. She squeezed the rose in her hand, its velvety petals a comforting reminder that this was real. Elvis put his arm gently around her shoulders. "This young lady has a very special request," he announced to the audience, his voice full of warmth. "And I think we should all help her out." He winked at the band, and they nodded, understanding immediately. Lily looked up at Elvis, her eyes shining with gratitude. She knew he didn't have to do this. He could have just waved and gone on with the show. But he had chosen to make her feel special, to make her dream come true, even if just for a little while. His words, "This is a yes, honey," were more than just a playful response to her sign. They were an affirmation of her worth, a recognition of her courage, and a promise that even in a world that sometimes felt unfair, there was still room for kindness and dreams to come true. They meant that even a little girl with a big sign and a quiet voice could be seen and heard. They meant hope. They meant everything. Elvis turned to the band and said, "Let's play something special for Lily. Something soft and sweet." He looked back at Lily and smiled. "How about Love Me Tender?" Lily's eyes widened. "Love Me Tender" was her favorite Elvis song. She nodded enthusiastically, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. The band started to play the familiar melody, and Elvis stepped closer to the microphone. He began to sing, his voice smooth and comforting. But this time, it felt different. It wasn't just a performance. It was a personal serenade, a gift just for her. Lily stood beside him, feeling like she was floating on a cloud. The stage lights warmed her face, and the music filled her heart. She looked out at the crowd, no longer feeling shy. She saw smiles, she saw tears, she saw understanding. Everyone was sharing this moment with her, celebrating her strength and her dreams. It was a feeling of pure joy, a moment of perfect connection. Standing next to Elvis, listening to him sing her favorite song, Lily knew this was a memory she would cherish forever. It was a moment that proved that even the smallest person can have the biggest dreams, and sometimes, those dreams really do come true. As Elvis sang, "Love Me Tender," the crowd was completely silent, captivated by the moment. It wasn't just a song anymore. It was a story unfolding before their eyes. They saw Elvis, the king, showing kindness to a young girl who needed it most. They saw Lily, brave and hopeful, standing tall despite her challenges. The lyrics of "Love Me Tender" took on a new meaning. Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. It was a message of unconditional love, a reminder that everyone deserves to be cherished and supported. Elvis's voice was filled with emotion, and you could feel the sincerity in every note. Some people in the audience wiped away tears. Others held their loved ones a little closer. Everyone was touched by the beauty of the moment, the power of the music, and the simple act of human connection. The band played with a tenderness and grace that they had never shown before. It was as if they understood the importance of this song, this moment, for Lily and for everyone in the audience. The music swelled, filling the Colosseum with a feeling of hope and love. It was a moment of unity, a reminder that even in a world filled with problems, there is always room for kindness, compassion, and the healing power of music. The song choice was perfect, a gentle ballad that spoke directly to the heart. The final notes of "Love Me Tender" faded away, leaving a profound silence in the Colosseum. It was a silence filled with emotion, a silence that spoke louder than any applause could have. The audience was still, as if holding their breath, wanting to savor the moment just a little longer. Then, slowly, the silence broke. A single clap echoed through the hall, followed by another and another. Soon, the entire crowd was on its feet, applauding wildly. It wasn't just applause for Elvis's performance. It was applause for Lily's courage, for Elvis's kindness, and for the hope that they both represented. The applause went on, a thunderous wave of appreciation. People were cheering, whistling, and shouting words of encouragement. "Bravo! You go, Lily! Elvis, you're the best!" The Colosseum was filled with a joyful noise, a celebration of the human spirit. Many in the audience were moved to tears. They had witnessed something truly special, a moment of pure magic. They had seen the power of music to heal, to connect, and to inspire. They had seen the impact of one small act of kindness, how it could ripple out and touch so many lives. The concert had become more than just a fundraiser. It had become a testament to the strength of the human heart. The shared emotional experience had created a bond between everyone in the Colosseum, a feeling of unity and hope that would last long after the lights went down. Elvis held Lily's hand as the applause died down. He turned to the microphone, his voice filled with emotion. "This song," he said, "is for Lily. But it's also for everyone out there who's facing a tough time, who's fighting a battle, who needs a little bit of hope." He looked at Lily, his eyes full of admiration. "Lily, you're an inspiration to all of us. You're strong, you're brave, and you're beautiful, inside and out." The crowd cheered again, louder this time, their voices filled with love and support. The dedication meant everything to Lily. It wasn't just about her meeting Elvis. It was about him recognizing her strength, her resilience. It was about him showing the world that even when things are hard, it's important to keep dreaming, to keep hoping, to keep loving. For others facing challenges, Elvis's dedication was a beacon of light. It was a reminder that they were not alone, that their struggles were seen and acknowledged. It was a message of hope, a promise that even in the darkest of times, there is always light to be found. Elvis had used his platform to spread a message of love and support, to uplift those who needed it most. And in that moment, he wasn't just the king of rock and roll, he was the king of hearts. The performance became a symbol of strength, resilience, and the power of kindness to overcome adversity. Elvis started the song again, this time with even more emotion. His voice was rich and velvety, each word carefully chosen, each note perfectly placed. He sang directly to Lily, his eyes never leaving hers. It was as if they were the only two people in the room. As he sang, Lily's face was a mixture of joy and tears. Happy tears streamed down her cheeks, but she was smiling brightly, her eyes shining with pure delight. She clutched the rose tightly in her hand, its fragrance filling her senses. Elvis's delivery was impeccable. He poured his heart and soul into the song, making it a truly unforgettable performance. He emphasized the words, "Love me tender," singing them with such tenderness and sincerity that they seemed to resonate with everyone in the audience. During the instrumental breaks, Elvis would reach out and gently squeeze Lily's hand, offering her a reassuring smile. He wanted her to know that he was there for her, that he cared about her, and that she was special. Lily's reactions were genuine and heartfelt. She mouthed the words to the song, her lips trembling with emotion. She swayed gently to the music, her body filled with a sense of peace and tranquility. In that moment, she felt completely connected to Elvis, to the music, and to everyone in the audience. It was a performance that transcended words, a moment of pure magic that would stay with her forever. The performance was a gift, a symbol of hope and love, delivered with genuine emotion and unwavering kindness. If you looked closely at Lily's face during the performance, you could see a whole world of emotions playing out. Her eyes, though filled with tears, sparkled with joy and wonder. Her lips trembled slightly as she mouthed the words to the song, her heart overflowing with gratitude. You could see the strength in her small face, the resilience that had carried her through so much. And if you looked at Elvis, you could see the genuine compassion in his eyes. He wasn't just going through the motions, he was truly connecting with Lily, sharing her joy, and acknowledging her struggles. His brow furrowed slightly with concern, and his lips curved into a gentle smile, offering her reassurance and support. The close-ups on their faces told a story that words could not express. They showed the power of human connection, the importance of empathy, and the beauty of kindness. They revealed the vulnerability that lies beneath the surface, the strength that resides within, and the hope that shines through even in the darkest of times. These close-ups weren't just about seeing tears and smiles. They were about seeing the soul. They were about recognizing the shared humanity that connects us all, regardless of our differences. They were a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can make a world of difference in someone's life. The camera captured not just images, but the very essence of the moment, preserving it forever. For Lily, this encounter with Elvis meant everything. It was more than just meeting her idol. It was a validation of her dreams, a recognition of her worth, and a powerful source of hope. Before that night, Lily might have felt invisible, like her voice didn't matter. But Elvis had seen her, had heard her silent plea, and had made her feel like the most important person in the world. He had shown her that even the silliest dreams can come true, at least in some small way. This moment gave her hope that things could get better, that even with her health challenges, she could still experience joy and happiness. It taught her that kindness exists in the world, and that even a small act of compassion can make a huge difference in someone's life. More than anything, it made her feel seen. She was no longer just a bald girl in a purple hoodie. She was Lily, the girl who had captured Elvis's heart. She was Lily, the girl who had inspired a moment of pure magic. She was Lily, the girl who now knew that she mattered. The encounter transformed her perspective, instilling in her a newfound sense of self-worth and a belief in the power of dreams. It gave her the strength to face her challenges with courage and optimism, knowing that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope to be found. She now had a story to tell, a memory to cherish, and a feeling of being seen that would stay with her forever. Elvis's actions that night revealed a deep well of generosity and compassion within him. He was more than just a performer. He was a human being who genuinely cared about his fans, especially those in need. He could have easily ignored Lily's sign and continued with the show, but he chose to acknowledge her, to bring her up on stage, and to make her feel special. This wasn't an isolated incident. Those who knew Elvis well often spoke of his kindness and his willingness to help others. He frequently visited hospitals, donated to charities, and used his fame to raise awareness for important causes. He understood the power of his platform and used it to make a positive impact on the world. His generosity wasn't just about money or material possessions. It was about giving his time, his attention, and his heart. He had a knack for making people feel seen, valued, and loved. He treated everyone with respect, regardless of their background or circumstances. The way he interacted with Lily that night was a testament to his character. He knelt down to her level, spoke to her with tenderness, and made her feel like she was the only person in the room. He didn't do it for the cameras or for the applause. He did it because it was the right thing to do. Elvis's genuine care for his fans, especially those like Lily who faced unique challenges, solidified his legacy as not only the king of rock and roll, but also the king of hearts. His generosity left a lasting impact that extended far beyond the stage. The atmosphere in the Coliseum had shifted. While the rest of the concert was filled with Elvis's signature high-energy performances, there was a newfound sense of warmth and connection. The crowd was more engaged, more appreciative, and more aware of the importance of the cause they were supporting. Elvis continued to sing his hits, but now, each song felt like it carried a little extra meaning. He injected even more passion into his performance, knowing that he was not just entertaining, but also inspiring. He told stories between songs, sharing anecdotes about his own struggles and triumphs, reminding everyone that they were all in this together. The audience responded with enthusiasm, singing along, dancing in the aisles, and showering Elvis with love and applause. They had witnessed a moment of pure magic, and it had opened their hearts and minds. Even the security guards seemed a little kinder, the stagehands a little more efficient, and the band members a little more energetic. The entire Coliseum was buzzing with a positive energy, a feeling of hope and unity that would linger long after the last song was sung. The concert continued late into the night, but no one seemed to notice the time. They were all too caught up in the music, the moment, and the shared experience of making a difference in the lives of children in need. The encounter with Lily had transformed the concert from a performance into a celebration of hope, kindness, and the power of the human spirit. It made all feel more connected. Years later, Lily would often find herself thinking back to that magical night in Memphis. The red rose had long since faded, but the memory of its velvety petals and sweet fragrance remained vivid in her mind. She kept the cardboard sign, carefully preserved, as a reminder of her dream and the kindness of Elvis. The experience had shaped her in profound ways. It had given her the confidence to pursue her own dreams, no matter how big or how small. It had taught her the importance of empathy and compassion, inspiring her to volunteer her time to help others in need. Whenever she faced a challenge, she would close her eyes and remember Elvis kneeling down, taking her hand, and saying, "This is a yes, honey." Those words would give her strength and remind her that anything is possible. She often wondered if Elvis ever thought about her, if he remembered the little girl in the purple hoodie who had dared to dream big. She hoped that he knew how much his kindness had meant to her, how much it had changed her life. That night in Memphis became a touchstone, a reminder of the power of hope, the magic of music, and the enduring impact of a single act of kindness. It was a story she would tell again and again, sharing the message of love and compassion with everyone she met. The memory served as a constant source of inspiration, guiding her through life with a sense of purpose and a heart full of gratitude. The impact of that night extended far beyond Lily. The audience members left the Coliseum with a renewed sense of purpose and a desire to spread kindness in their own lives. They had witnessed a moment of pure magic, and it had touched their hearts in a profound way. Many people were inspired to volunteer their time at local charities, helping those in need. Others made donations to organizations that supported children facing health challenges. Some simply made a conscious effort to be more kind and compassionate to the people they encountered each day. One woman, who had been struggling with her own health issues, decided to start a support group for others facing similar challenges. She wanted to create a safe space where people could share their experiences, offer each other encouragement, and find strength in community. A young man, who had always dreamed of becoming a musician, was inspired by Elvis's generosity to use his own talents to give back to the community. He started playing free concerts at local hospitals and nursing homes, bringing joy and music to those who needed it most. The ripple effect of Elvis's kindness and Lily's courage continued to spread, touching countless lives and inspiring acts of compassion and generosity. The message of hope and love that had filled the Colosseum that night continued to resonate, reminding everyone that even the smallest act of kindness can make a world of difference. It was a chain reaction of good, started by a king and a little girl with a big dream. The story of Lily and Elvis serves as a powerful reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a profound impact on someone's life. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the world's problems, to believe that one person can't possibly make a difference. But the truth is, every act of compassion, no matter how small, creates a ripple effect that can touch countless lives. A smile, a kind word, a helping hand, these simple gestures can brighten someone's day, offer them hope, and inspire them to pay it forward. Elvis's decision to acknowledge Lily's sign and bring her on stage may have seemed like a small thing, but it changed her life forever. And it inspired countless others to spread kindness in their own communities. We all have the power to make a difference. We can choose to be kind, to be compassionate, to be generous. We can choose to see the good in others, to offer them support, and to help them achieve their dreams. The future is not predetermined. It is shaped by the choices we make each day. By choosing kindness, we can create a world that is more loving, more compassionate, and more just. We can build a future where everyone feels seen, valued, and loved. The story of Lily and Elvis is a testament to the power of hope, the magic of music, and the enduring impact of kindness. It's a story that reminds us that even the smallest act of compassion can change the world. It is up to us to continue the chain of kindness, one act at a time. Lily's life changed overnight. When she returned home after the concert, she was met with flashing lights and a throng of reporters and photographers. Her quiet street was suddenly filled with news vans and curious onlookers. The media had descended upon her, eager to tell the story of the little girl who had captured Elvis's heart. At first, Lily was overwhelmed. She wasn't used to so much attention. The bright lights and the constant questions made her feel shy and nervous. Her parents tried to shield her from the chaos, but it was difficult to keep the media at bay. Reporters camped out on her lawn, waiting for a chance to interview her. Photographers followed her everywhere, snapping pictures of her going to school, playing in the park, and even just sitting at home. The media attention was a mixed blessing. On the one hand, it was exciting to see her story being shared with the world. On the other hand, it was intrusive and disruptive. Lily missed her quiet life, her simple routines, and her privacy. Her parents worked hard to protect her and to ensure that she wasn't exploited by the media. They carefully selected the interviews she would give and made sure that she was always comfortable and in control. They wanted to use the opportunity to raise awareness for children facing health challenges and to spread the message of hope and kindness that had resonated so deeply at the concert. The small-town girl was no longer just a local resident, but a public figure. Amidst the media chaos, something wonderful happened. Elvis reached out to Lily. He sent her a handwritten letter, thanking her for her sign and telling her how much it had touched his heart. He also invited her to visit him at Graceland. Lily was overjoyed. She couldn't believe that Elvis wanted to see her again. Her parents carefully arranged the visit, making sure to keep it private and low-key. When Lily arrived at Graceland, Elvis greeted her with a warm hug. He spent the afternoon with her, showing her around his home, telling her stories, and listening to her dreams. They talked about music, movies, and everything in between. They discovered that they had a lot in common. They both loved animals, they both believed in helping others, and they both had a deep appreciation for the power of music. After that visit, Lily and Elvis became pen pals. They wrote letters to each other regularly, sharing their thoughts, their feelings, and their hopes for the future. Elvis became a mentor and a friend to Lily, offering her guidance, support, and encouragement. Their friendship was a special bond, built on kindness, compassion, and a shared love of music. It offered Lily a sense of normalcy and connection amidst the whirlwind of media attention. Their unlikely friendship blossomed, proving that kindness and connection can transcend fame and circumstance. The news of Elvis's death hit Lily hard. She was devastated to lose her friend, her mentor, and her inspiration. It felt like a part of her own heart had been torn away. She remembered their first meeting, his kindness, his warmth, and his genuine care. She remembered their letters, filled with laughter, encouragement, and shared dreams. She remembered his voice, singing, "Love Me Tender," just for her. Lily mourned not just the loss of a celebrity, but the loss of a true friend. She cried for the laughter they would no longer share, for the letters that would no longer arrive, and for the future that they would no longer build together. The world mourned the king of rock and roll, but Lily mourned something more personal, the loss of a kindred spirit. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for the time they had shared, but also a profound sadness for what could have been. In the days and weeks that followed Elvis's death, Lily found solace in her memories. She reread his letters, listened to his music, and remembered his words of wisdom. She knew that even though he was gone, his spirit would live on in her heart forever. The world had lost an icon, but Lily had lost a friend, and that loss left an ache that time could only soften, not erase. The news brought a wave of sadness and reflection. Lily dedicated her life to ensuring that Elvis's kindness lived on. She became an advocate for children facing health challenges, speaking at events, raising awareness, and fundraising for research and support programs. She shared her story with the world, inspiring others to embrace compassion and to never give up hope. She established a foundation in Elvis's name, providing grants to organizations that supported children in need. She organized concerts and events, bringing people together through music, just as Elvis had done. She continued to cherish her memories of Elvis, sharing his letters and his words of wisdom with those who needed them most. She wanted the world to remember not just the king of rock and roll, but also the kind and generous human being who had touched her life so deeply. Lily's efforts ensured that Elvis's legacy extended far beyond his music. He was remembered not just for his talent, but for his compassion, his generosity, and his unwavering belief in the power of kindness. And so, the story of Lily and Elvis became a timeless tale of hope, love, and the enduring impact of a single act of compassion. It was a story that would continue to inspire generations to come, reminding them that even the smallest person can make a world of difference, and that even the simplest act of kindness can change a life forever. Lily's life became a testament to the transformative power of kindness, proving that Elvis's spirit lived on through her actions. The end.